and drop some smooth.
Great googly moogly. What is going on out there, everybody? My name is Sean Carrier. Thank you for tuning in to Bet Edge. The NBA Finals has arrived, and we could not be more excited about it. We've got round 3 in a clash of NBA Titans. The Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Golden State Warriors. Winner takes all. We finally get to see how these two teams are going to stack up against one another with Golden State's addition of Kevin Durant. This is absolutely exciting. I could not tell you how thrilling this is. So let's dive right in. Let's see how we're going to be making our money here over the next week or so on this series. We'll start with the stat graphic. The pace here, both teams definitely above average in terms of NBA pace. The Golden State Warriors right at the tops of the league there, right under 100 possessions per game. The average between the two, 98. So definitely a series that should be played at a faster tempo than the average. And the total reflects that for game 1. A high total, 225 it opened, down to 223. Most likely the highest posted game 1 total for the NBA Finals. So expect a lot of points. The offensive numbers back that up also. Both teams, dynamic offenses, well over 110 points per 100 possessions. But the Golden State Warriors with an edge there, a full 2-point edge in offense per 100 possessions for the Warriors. But the divider here between these two teams is the defense. The Golden State Warriors, one of the best defenses in the NBA, only allowing 104 points per 100 possessions this year. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, this has been their Achilles heel, allowing 110.4 points per 100 possessions. I mean, that's awful. I believe they were the second worst defense post All-Star break this year, only behind the Lakers, who, I mean, weren't even trying. I mean, I got my MPLS on and then Kobe in the background. I'm a lifelong Laker fan, but they were not playing any defense by any stretch of the imagination. And the Cavs were that was the only team they were better than in terms of defense this year. So we're going to see how they can make adjustments, and it's not going to be easy against these Golden State Warriors. I mean, probably the best offense in the NBA this year. The field goal percentage, another check mark for the Golden State Warriors. I mean, 5.63 to 5.47, that is a distinct advantage there. Points per shot, the exact same, both elite at that 1.3 marker. Golden State, another check mark in the rebounding edge, and that's quite a discrepancy there. I mean, that's a slightly below average team versus a well above average team here in terms of rebounding. In my opinion, the two most important markers in terms of deciding an NBA game, who's going to win, field goal percentage and rebounding percentage, and Golden State has a distinct advantage in both of those categories. The last column here, the turnover percentage, the Cleveland Cavaliers with a slight advantage there, less than 1%. Oh, shit, my bad. An edge nonetheless, but not an edge that I think is going to be a series decider at all. The projected score, just based on their raw numbers, if this game took place on a neutral court, I've got Golden State with 4 points better than the Cleveland Cavaliers, 111 to 107. So in terms of game 1, you usually like to give the home team 3 points. So if you do that to the Golden State Warriors there, the line sitting perfectly right now, right at 7. That's where I would put it at also. A great line. So these are the first couple points here are the points I pulled in terms of who's going to win this game 1, who's going to cover the spread. The two points here I found very, very interesting. The Eastern Conference champion, 0-9 straight up and against the spread in game 1 on the road since 2005. That might speak to the Eastern Conference definitely being a lesser tier conference over the last decade or so. And there's a big jump up in competition going from playing 3 Eastern Conference competitors then to jumping up to playing the eventual Western Conference champion. The East champs have struggled in that scenario over the last decade. Might look for more of the same today. The second stat, very similar. The road team 1-11 straight up in the last 12 NBA Finals game 1s. More bad news for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not looking good in terms of those two stats. In terms of the head-to-head matchups between these two teams, very, very even. in their last 10. Both teams 5-5 ATS. The interesting thing that I saw, though, the team that has won in each of the last 10 games also covered the number. So if you're liking Golden State to win the game, they're most likely going to cover the spread, just based on the history between these two teams. And both teams come in red hot ATS, both 7-3 in their last 10 respectively. So something's going to have to give. One of these two Giants is going to lose tonight. The history's been very close, but these game one numbers definitely have me leaning towards the Golden State Warriors, and definitely with the stat graphic seems to back that up also. The last couple points here are just all in terms of the total, and a lot of them trending under. I mean, the under 6-3-1 in the last 10 meetings between these two teams, and 9 of those 10 games would have gone under today's posted total of 223. So definitely something very interesting. I mean, it's a very, very high total, and the recent history between these two teams, basically none of the last 10 games have gotten there, only one. So a lot of these markers, as I said, leaning under. The Cavs come in their last 10, 6-4 to the over. So they've been trending over coming in, but only 2 of those games would have gone over today's 223. The Warriors trending way over in their last 10, 8-2 to the over, and 6 of those games would have gone over the 223. So that's, I think, why you're seeing this total so high. The Warriors have been scoring points in bunches. No one's been able to stop them. They've been getting up to 120, 130 range with ease lately. So the total, I actually think it's a really, really good number. I mean, as I said, a lot of these markers were leaning under. The last 2 also, the under 8-1-2 in the last 11 meetings in Golden State, and the under 4-1-1 in the last 6 meetings between these two teams. But if you go back and just look at what Golden State's totals have looked like in their last 10 games, it's hard to stop this team from getting to 120, and if that happens, the game probably goes over 223. So let's get to the last page here. Our best bets for the series and game 1. I absolutely love the series handicap here for Golden State. So what this means is they would have to win the series by 2 or more games. So the Cavs cannot win more than 2 games. They can win 2, but if the Cavs win 3 games and it goes to game 7, we're going to lose this bet. But I honestly, to tell you the truth, do not think it's going to get there. I think the Cavs win 1 or 2 games at their absolute best. I think they're going to lose both of the first 2 games in Golden State. They're probably their best chance for a win is game 3, the first game in Cleveland, and would not be surprised at all to see Golden State get a split in Cleveland in game 3 and 4, and then wrap it up in game 5 at home. That's what I think is most likely to happen. But I'd be absolutely shocked if the Cavs won 3 games in this series. So I put 4 units here, but you know what? We're going to bump it up to a full 5-unit play, our biggest play of the year. It's the NBA Finals. Let's go a little bit crazy. I mean, not too crazy. We're not going to lay the entire bankroll on this or even 50% of it, but I think a 5-unit play here for our last NBA action of the year is well in order, and it's a play that I absolutely love. I mean, if you look at these points, the Warriors with edges in offense, defense, field goal percentage, and rebounding percentage, that is all of the key markers. They all go to the Warriors. Their record at home this year, 42-5. I mean, that's incredible, as good as it gets. And if you look at their last 28 games, they've lost once, 27-1 in their last 28. This is one of probably the top 10 or 5 teams ever assembled in the NBA. I think they're a slam dunk here in the finals. It's not a knock against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're a spectacular team with one of the best players to ever play basketball. But I think they're just up against a juggernaut here in the Warriors. They're the better team. They've got home court advantage. We're going to put the 5 units on it. Series handicap, Golden State -1.5 games. Absolutely love it. In terms of game 1, all of those markers leaning under. We're going to take a small shot here with the under 224 in game 1. We'll throw 1 unit at that. And a couple of fun bets because it's the NBA Finals. Why not? A few sprinkles, a couple half-unit bets. I really like Kevin Durant to win the MVP. Stephen Curry has seemed to struggle a little bit in terms of his average in the last 2 finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But Kevin Durant, the only one of the big players in this series to not have an NBA championship. He's going to be hungry, and this is why he came to this team, to win an NBA championship. He took a lot of heat for it. It's kind of all on the line for Kevin Durant here. If they lose, I mean, you can see the memes coming in right now. And the Warriors have all kind of been on record saying when Kevin decided to join them that they would have no problems kind of letting him be the alpha in these type of situations. He's definitely the best scorer on the team. He's the favorite to win the MVP for all of those reasons, but still some great value there at 2.9. We'll throw a half unit on Kevin Durant to win the MVP. And we'll also put a half unit on the series correct score. Golden State to win 4-1 in 5 games at 3.75. It coincides with the series handicap, but a little extra value there with a little more risk. But we'll throw a half unit on that. I mean, I don't know why I feel so sure about Golden State 4-1 exactly. 4-1, 4-2. I think that's how this series shakes down. So well within the mold here, so to speak. So those are fun bets. But the main course, so to speak, here, the series handicap, the full 5 units, Golden State to win, laying the 1.5 games. So 4-0, 4-1, 4-2, all acceptable, all winning outcomes for that bet. It's absolutely thrilling. So excited. I cannot wait for tonight and game 1. See how it's all going to shake down. I really hope this info and video helps any bets you guys are thinking of making out there. If there's any other questions you guys have, anything I can help with, definitely get at me on Twitter at bet_edge. All of our picks, videos, betting tools, everything gets posted there daily, and it's all absolutely free. So give us a follow over on Twitter at bet_edge. I'd really appreciate it. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. Good night and good luck.
Oh, yeah. I'm with this. I'm just gonna sit here laid back to this nice mellow beat, you know, and drop some smooth lyrics. 'Cause it's 88. Time to set it.